Hello class, today we're going to be doing is the line by line on blackjack. So I'm going to be going over both versions of this. Here we have the scanner, which they are basically an array of changing size. So I can make an array and without declaring the static size of it, and then it can change as we go on. So as the cards decrease in size from shuffled to unshuffled, the unshuffled increases as the shuffled deck decreases. It's like the discard pile is the unshuffled deck. And because those change in size, that's why we have the vectors instead of using just an array. So then we create the class Blackjack Council, which is just the name of the thing. We can change that if we want to. We're implementing the scanner, called scanner. We're creating the array of deck, which is 52 cards, which is not statically assigning the 52 cards here, so this is just an array of cards representing the deck. We need to change this to add into 4, so it's going to be 56. And the current position is just where in the shuffled deck we are at, and we're creating the hand of the player. So this just basically says run the thing. So inside the main of this class, it runs run. So we can rerun run. So blah, 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 blah. Create how much money you have, set the bet, and see if the user wins. We are going to say, welcome, let's play blackjack. We're going to start with our money. So, of course, go big or go home. I'm going to up the money. So we made the money 1,000. Now, what we're saying here is while true. That means always run it until we hit a break point. And what these break points say is stop this, basically. So then I'm displaying to the user how much money they have. And then inside this, what I'm saying is do this until I get a good bet. So the issue here is how many dollars do you want to bet? Press 0 to end. And then we have a question mark here. I don't know why they put the question mark here, because then you're typing the money after the question mark. It just looks weird. But then I'm getting this from the scanner. So what you need to do is you need to set up the try catch right here. So we're going to try this. And we have to catch the error. And if this is something bad, it's going to output something. So we're going to start out with bet equal to 0. So that it's always initialized. And what we're doing here is we put this bet inside the try catch, because if bet is a string, then we need to reset this. So what I'm going to say is if I catch any exception, I need to do something so that this repeats. I'm not going to tell you what that something is. And then if the bet is less than 0 or greater than how much money you have, it's saying please make sure your bet is between 0 and money. And then it asks the code, is the bet a good bet? Otherwise repeat. So if you were to Google this, what you would want to do is you would want to go here and say Java try catch. And then we just don't want to do that. We're going to do user input from scanner class. I want the specific exception. There it is. Here we go. So input mismatch exception. So where I have specific generic exception, right here, you can be a more specific exception and actually find out which one it is, the input mismatch. So just go ahead and take a look at that. Again, I just did a simple Google. And you could have easily came up with this Google, which the Google was... So I clicked on the second one, and Java try catch user input from scanner class. You could have easily gotten that from Java scanner class try catch. But anyways, so we have that. If the bet is 0, that means we're breaking out a loop because we're no longer playing. And then we're saying user wins equals play blackjack, which that means is we're going to play blackjack. It's going to return a true-false value because user wins is a Boolean. Now, when we play blackjack, what are the cases that could happen? We could either win, or lose, or tie draw. That means we have 3 cases, but a Boolean only has 2 cases. We have an issue. So what you have to do is make this to have 3 cases. What's one way you can make this have 3 cases? Well, it's something other than a Boolean. You have to think about that. So the next one we want to do is we want to go down to the play blackjack, which ironically is right here. This returns type Boolean, so if you want to return a different type, you would just type that in there instead. It sets up the vector for the dealer hand and the user hand, because I can have anywhere from 0 to 5 cards, well, 6 cards. We have the deck, we have the card count, we have the suits. So what this does, it goes through and makes all the suits. Please realize there's 4 numbers here and there's 13 numbers here. 4 times 13 is 52. If I wanted more than 52 cards, I would have to change some of these numbers. I would also need to change the number somewhere else. And then I set the current position to be 0. And I create new vectors of the dealer hands and user hands. And then I call the method shuffle. So let's go take a look at shuffle. Shuffle is this. What it means is start at the end, decrease until I hit 0, and move the cards to a random spot. So what that means is, let's open up Paint. We have the cards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to take the last card and insert it randomly in here somewhere. So I'm left with the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to insert in 6 right here. And then what happens is I decrease my I. So now I'm looking at this card. And I randomly place this somewhere less than over here. So somewhere in here. So then I have my 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, and 4 would go right here. However, what it's doing is, it's not just inserting. What it's doing is, let me take this back. When I put 6 there, 4 actually goes to the end. It doesn't stay there. Because look, oh wow. Right here, this is the swap method that I showed you guys last year. So this swaps the files, so that means 4 is not here. It's at the end. And then it decreases to 5. So then I take 5, and I say, well, let's put 5 somewhere in this range, randomly. So I'm going to swap it with 2. So I get 1, 5, 3, 6, 2, 4, because 5 and 2 are swapped. And then my next key element is the next one in, which is 6. So I swap 6 as one of these 3 numbers. So I have 6, 5, 3, 1, 2, 4. So these are actually random numbers because I'm randomly putting this somewhere in here. So take a random value from the first part and move it to the end, and then build the list end back, is what they're doing. And then I'm resetting the current position to 0 because I shuffled. So I'm going back from the beginning. So after I shuffle, now I'm adding a card, and because it's shuffled, I am adding the cards in the wrong order. When we deal blackjack, the dealer deals the player the card first, then dealer, then player, then dealer. If you have multiple players, it's player 1, player 2, dealer. Player 1, player 2, dealer, and then hit, 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 so on and so forth. So you should fix that. And we're just printing line to end. Now, this basically just checks to see who has blackjack. It checks to see if the dealer has blackjack, then if the user has blackjack. That's the wrong order, because the first thing we care about is if the user has blackjack first. If the user has blackjack first, then the user should win, so I return true. If the dealer gets blackjack, it is game over, so you do have to decide that. Give some space and tell me what my cards are. So I'm going through the entire size of my hand and printing out using the show card of the get heart of the user hand of instance I, where I starts at 0 and goes to user hand size. I then print out my total so I can easily see it. And then I show what the dealer is showing. It's only the first card. And then I ask hit or stand. After I hit or stand, what happens is we go through this nonsense. So we always change the value to uppercase, no matter what. Because then I only have to check H, capital H or capital S, instead of lowercase h and uppercase h and lowercase s and uppercase s. And then I wait until I get this. So this also needs so I'm getting this. So try catch needed here because I'm getting input from the user. If the user hits, the user gets a card, blah, 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 blah. So then when the user says stand, I do nothing. I break out of the loop. Otherwise, if it's not stand, then it has to be hit because I'm checking it right up here. Then I do this, which means get a new card, add the card, break a line, tell the user that he hits, show the card, and update the total. Check to see if it's greater than 21. If they busted, if they did bust, tell them they busted, and then tell them the dealer's other card, and then exit out. After which, this loops again, so I go back up here and ask the user to re-hit. So I go all the way up to, I go back up here and repeat if they want to hit again. Once I'm done, that means the user stands because that's when I hit this break. I show the dealer cards, both of them. If it's less than 16 or equal to 16, the dealer has to hit by laws of the game. Until that hits, then we go out. This is the total. Notice I'm not checking to see if they busted because I don't care if they busted. I just care that they have greater than 16. And then what I'm seeing here is dealer's total is this. That just prints the value. Then I check to see if it's bigger than 21. If the dealer busts and you didn't bust because you got this far, then you win, so I return true. If the dealer didn't bust, I see if there's a tie, it returns false, which you need to fix this because you don't lose when it's a tie. The bet is pushed, which means the bet stays on the table. You have to play again with that bet. If it's not a tie, we then check to see if the dealer wins. If the dealer wins, I'll put the dealer wins. If the user wins, else the user wins. Return true. So then we go back up because I want to go in order. So we shuffled. This ends the loop. So we go all the way back up to the front. And we play blackjack again. So while true up here, where's play blackjack? So we play blackjack. If the user wins, increase the money. Otherwise, dealer won, decrease the money. Which then you need to insert in the tie. And then if money is 0, because it can't be less than 0 because of the way the bet system is made, then you say, looks like you're out of money, and this is when you break. I also want to put in a win clause. If 1,000 monies, and let's do 10,000 monies because I upped it to 1,000 monies. So win clause if initial money greater than initial money times 10, if current money is greater than or equal to initial money times 10, then you win. And actually stop playing the game. And that's pretty much it. It should be easy to do. I think I explained everything. Show card. What you guys might want to do is you might want to make a function to do the output just to make it easier. But if not, so what this code does is it shows the card, which means it returns the text value card basically right here. But it's not card, it's this string. So what we need to do is realize that it's at most 5 characters long, so we need a spot for 5 characters. We also need to know the length of the string that's returned so we know how many spaces to amend at the end. So what we might want to do to fix that is make all of them 5 characters. Because then I would put a space here and here, 2 here, and so on and so forth. Because then all the strings will be 5 characters long, and it'll fit perfectly inside my deck when I print out my cards like this. So when I print out this cards like this, I need 5 spaces between the card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because then I can fit queen inside here and it'll be spaced out correctly. Now I'm returning question mark here because the default case means something's not cards 1 through 13. However, we want to add in another ace. So we want another case to be an ace. So we have to figure out how to add in a case and then make that an ace. In order to do that, you need to have card change from not just the 13 values. You need an extra value in there somehow. So I'm not going to tell you to do that. Then what you have over here is what the card value is. So we get the card, which the card could be any one of these cases, 1 through 13. If it's 11, 12, or 13, basically the jack, the queen, or the king, it's all value 10. So I'm returning 10. Otherwise, I return result. So if it's not case 11, 12, or 13, result equals card. If card equals these 3 values, change result to 10, then return result. I'm returning result, which is an integer, because the return type is an int. Then we have the value of the hand. Now, the value of the hand, we have to take care of aces. We take care of aces down here. So we set up a temporary value val, which is our return value, int. We say boolean if the ace is there, and then we say how many cards. We set this up, default value of ace is false. We go through and we add up all the cards, and we get card value of each card value, and then we're adding it to this. If the card value is greater than 10, which means jack, queen, king, just have it be 10. If the card value equals 1, I'm going to setting my trigger for the ace to be true, and then add these up. Now, after I add up the entire set of cards, what I want to do is say, well, if I have space to add in the 10 for the ace, then do so. Now, the only time you want to do 2 aces would be 22 and you'd bust, so you'd only have to do this once. And then I return value. Now this only does it if I have an ace and value of all the cards before, as considering aces to be 1. And if I add 10, I don't bust. Then I increase val by 10 and return val. Otherwise, don't do that, just return val. Get card, this is, you're not going to have to change this. It just works. Shuffle, I already explained, and deal card, you will have to change for an obvious reason. That's pretty much it. Good luck on this. Have a good one. I will see you later.